2-1 at the ballpark. After a 3-hour delay, the Marlins slide started. Then Ryan Zimmerman went all Roy Hobbs on the fish. And at midnight, the ball looked like a pumpkin to Adam Dunn. Then, when the clock struck 1, the fish were really done. Time to wake up. Game 2, Marlins Nationals. So on a sunny day in South Florida, we arrived at the ballpark. We were ready for baseball. None of this rain. No 3-hour delay. Let's get rolling, right? Fish and Nationals. Oh, please, no rain. Little drizzle. It has stopped. We got baseball. 7:15 start time. So chow down. Get ready. Anibal Sanchez getting ready for the fish as the Marlins and the Nationals play Game 2. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton. It was a bizarre night, to say the least. But for the Marlins, Tommy, it's been 2 sloppy games. And I'll tell you what, they've got a month left in this season. They're at an even 500. The sloppiness has to stop right away.
Yeah, you can look at different parts of the last couple of games. The debacle in Atlanta, the long night last night. You had errors. You had wild pitches. The Marlins tied a club record with 4 wild pitches in the game last night. You cannot win games and play that kind of baseball. So Edwin Rodriguez is hoping that things shape up in this one tonight.
When you look around the National League and you look at the middle of batting orders and say, man, this is a tough batting order, I don't think enough people look at this Washington team and say there are some real tough outs in there. And obviously, when you got Ryan Zimmerman and Adam Dunn back-to-back, those are 2 tough outs.
That's a perfect example. In spite of their record, you still have to deal with guys like Zimmerman and Dunn. Zimmerman, against the Marlins, 13 career home runs. He took the lights out of the facade in the upper deck with a big blast last night. These 2 guys each hit 3-run homers. And how about Adam Dunn? 349 career home runs. He's always done it against the Marlins. And how about the last 3 games for Dunn? 6 for 10 with 2 home runs. There are their numbers against the Marlins. And these 2 guys can do a lot of damage. And I know Rich and I have we've talked a lot over the year about different divisions in baseball and other teams who they get to match up with the last place clubs in that division. Everybody in the National League East has to deal with the Nationals. Their record doesn't show it, but they have a solid lineup, a tough lineup to deal with.
The best basement, maybe, in any division in baseball. And if you measure offense by OPS, on-base plus slugging, which a lot of people do these days, well, Zimmerman and Dunn are both in the top 5 in the National League. And they're in the likes there with Pujols and Votto and Carlos Gonzalez.
You're dropping the new age OPS on me, right?
Why not, baby?
Okay.
Let's get it out there. Let's talk about some new age pitching. And Anibal Sanchez, because for this season for Sanchi, really his first full healthy season since 2006, and it's really been fun to watch him.
You know, and because of that, he has established career highs in starts and innings pitched. He has been tremendous. He has been extremely steady all season. Anibal Sanchez has been exceptionally steady against the Nationals. In his career, he's 4-0 against Washington and a good ERA in the 2s. But when he keeps that middle of the plate thought, he doesn't try to get too perfect out there, the movement of his pitches will take care of itself. And a lot of guys, even though he looks easy with his delivery, there are a lot of
at Sun Life Stadium. Baseball just a few minutes away as the Marlins and the Nationals get set to play Game 2 of a 3-game series. All right, to start our night, let's go down below. Allison Williams and Jeff Conine. Folks, take it away.
Hello, Rich. Good to be with you down here in the dugout. Niner, it wasn't a good scene last night for the Marlins by any stretch, but there was one good part of the game, and that's that Mike Stanton got his first hit since August 19th. He was in an 0 for 31 skid, able to put the brakes on it last night.
Well, you know what? If you play this game long enough, you're going to go through those skids, 0 for 31, 0 for 20, whatever it is. You're going to go through 3 or 4 of them probably every year. And, you know, at this young stage of his career, Mike Stanton probably hasn't struggled like this ever. So last night, he actually had a really good at-bat here. Off-speed pitch. That ball was probably on the outside corner, if not off the plate away. He stays on it. Nice level swing. He doesn't have to swing very hard. This guy's got so much power. It's crazy. He hits this ball on a line over the shortstop's head for his first base hit in 31 at-bats.
Came in the 8th inning off Tyler Clippard. You can imagine it was a bit of relief for Stan to get that hit. And here's a look at some stretches of frustration, if you will. He stops his skid at 31, which leaves him 2 shy of the mark set by Mike Jacobs back in August of 2007. And like you said, Niner, these are streaks that every batter deals with. What was your worst streak, Dino?
I don't know. I'm just really happy I'm not on that list right there. But I was talking with Adam Dunn in batting practice, and just recently on a road trip, he's hits 4 homers in Arizona, 2 homers in L.A. He comes back to Washington like on top of the world, thinks he's just absolutely killing it, and he proceeds to go 7 for his next 80.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a rough streak.
Big time ouch.
One thing that did stand out to everybody is how well Stanton maintained his poise throughout his struggles. We'll see how he does here tonight. It's the Marlins. It's the Nationals. Rich, Tommy, coming up. Don't go away.
Networks. AT Rethink Possible. Ah, what a great sight that is. What a great sight it is to see baseball players getting ready to play some ball. Alex Sanabia with a nice catch there. The Fish tried to snap this skid here after 2 messy ball games. The loss last night, 9-3, of course, to the Nationals. And then the Sunday implosion against Atlanta. For the Marlins last night, it was a tight game. In fact, Alex Sanabia, after giving up 4 runs, pitched pretty well. But in the 7th, Tommy, things got real sloppy.
Well, it got underway with that throwing error, and then Brian Sanchez really had trouble with the grip on his splitter. He was yanking it, as the phrase goes, completing the pitch and throwing a lot of wild pitches, and then all of a sudden he was forced to throw a fastball to the big guy, Adam Dunn, who went straight away center field. A 3-run shot. The Nationals hit 2 3-run homers last night, one by Ryan Zimmerman and the other one by Dunn. For Dunn, that was home run number 349 in his career.
Yeah, and that's one of the longest home runs Zimmerman has hit in his career as well. Okay, let's do the particulars here. Get you ready. Everybody's settled in. There's your temperature. The forecast is the most important thing. It's overcast. The umpire's getting ready. That would be Jim Wolf with the bag of balls and the face mask underarm. He will be working the dish with Marvin Hudson at first. Daryl Cousins is the crew chief, and Mike Estabrook is at third base. Email Tuesday started early last night at midnight, and we went for a strong hour and had a ton of emails. So whatever questions you have, send them our way as well. Vice President of Baseball Operations and General Manager Michael Hill will be our guest tonight in the 4th inning. And so if you have any personnel questions, send them on in for Mike, and he'll spend an inning talking baseball with us.
Yeah, I think, Rich, we may have some questions as to possible call-ups with the September call-ups, just a day away as we play the last game of August here.
I've been waiting for that call-up for 30 years, Tommy. It hasn't come yet. Here's the Nationals lineup. Adam Kennedy leads it off. Ian Desmond's back in. He's on a real tear, the rookie shortstop. Roger Bernardino in left. Then you get into Zimmerman and Dunn. Michael Morse is red hot as well, the Nova High product. Pudge still climbing towards 3,000 hits. Niger Morgan's in center, which is a lot drier tonight than last night. And Jordan Zimmerman hits 9th.
You know, we've talked about Anibal Sanchez going after win number 12. Coming off a start in New York where, you know, he admitted, did I deserve the win? No, not really, but he's not going to throw it away. 5 innings, gave up 9 hits and 4 runs. But he's had games where he's pitched much better and come up with nothing. See Josh Johnson for that note. But 4-0 in his career against the Nationals, so that's always a good matchup. When you know you've had success against the club, his ERA lifetime against Washington, 2.66.
Our defense tonight, first for the Marlins, brought to you by Boar's Head, the finest meats and cheeses.
A little less sloshy in the outfield with Morrison, Maben, and Stanton. Tracy again, Chad Tracy at third, Gabby over at first, Bonifacio with another start at second base, and Brett Hayes behind the plate.
Sanchez turns and delivers. Jim Wolf says strike one to Adam Kennedy. Kennedy, Ian Desmond, and Roger Bernardino are coming up. As we told you in Marlins Live, that one is foul. And in the outset of our telecast, Sanchez against these Nationals has been terrific. In his career, 11 starts. He has yet to lose against Washington. His ERA is under 3, and his record's 4-0.
And also you saw Bonifacio at second base. Second game that Dan Uggla is not in the lineup. The 2 games that he's missed so far this year. The growing muscle is better. And hopefully by the weekend against Atlanta, he'll be ready to go.
1-2 coming. And it's up. Tommy talked about the start against the Mets, in which Sanchez is one of those ball games where he got knocked around but hung around long enough and ended up getting the win. Kennedy, a late swing, and he just got a piece of it. Well, as you pointed out, this is not the typical Sanchez start this year. He's been extremely consistent. You go month to month to month, his ERA doesn't budge much. His August ERA 3.10, July ERA 3.77, same as June 3.77, and he was at 1.93 in the month of May. 3-2 coming. Kennedy pulls it, hits it a long ways, but it's foul.
Yeah, he's on a nice little stretch too. Anibal Sanchez is. His last 6 starts, 4-2, and an ERA 2.37. So he, as you said, has been a model of consistency and also attaining and reaching career highs in just about every category.
Right down the middle. So Sanchez dispatches with Kennedy. And now he'll face Ian Desmond.
Not quite sure what Adam Kennedy was looking for, because he's fouled off a lot of pitches. to kind of stay alive. That ball had some nice movement, came back over the plate, and Kennedy just froze.
Ian Desmond came into the ball game at the end last night, about 1 in the morning, and had a sacrifice fly in the 9th inning. Finished the game at shortstop. He's on a nice run right now himself. His last 32 games, he's hitting over 350. They feel he could be the shortstop of the future. The one thing they'd like to see him, I guess, improve in, and that would be defense. He's made 29 errors this year.
Ouch.
But the learning curve is steep at that position in the major leagues. Not easy for a youngster to come in and play shortstop and play it well.
Desmond, 24. I think one of the reasons the Nationals have had a little stretch that they've won some games. Desmond, Bernardina, Zimmerman, Dunn, they've all been hot. Morse. So they've got a number of hitters. You put that many hitters in your lineup on good streaks, you're going to win some games.
You can see our Fox Tracks brought to you by Toyota. Sanchez has been around the plate. 2-2 fouled off. Jim Wolf should be a pitcher's umpire.
Yeah, he should be. Or brother Randy will call him and say, come on.
His brother Randy, of course, a big league pitcher. Now, by edict, he cannot work home plate when his brother pitches. Breaking ball, it's fouled back into the seats.
Desmond, by the way, has been bothered a little bit with a sore thumb on his right hand. Every once in a while, if he gets jammed, that thumb rings a little bit.
Check swing. I think he went around. The ball is loose. Hayes hesitated, and that's going to cost him. I think Brett Hayes initially waited at the plate to see what happened rather than go after the ball. And if he had it to do over again, he may have started after it a little sooner.
Yeah, it's the old adage. You go ahead and just follow through with the play and then find out what the call is going to be. He swung. There's no question about it. Yeah, right there. He waits for the call instead of getting it initially. If he goes initially, he probably gets Desmond. But it'll be a strikeout and then a wild pitch.
It was not an easy night for Brett behind the plate last night, especially that sequence in the 7th inning with Brian Sanchez.
So already you can see that Anibal Sanchez has some real good movement on his pitches tonight.
Drive into right center field. That's well hit. Maben on the move. There, makes the catch, and Desmond is around second. Got a shot at first. Maben's throw. Sanchez the tag. He is out. Double play. How about that? Cameron Maben with some help from Gabby Sanchez. Oh, that's good stuff for the Fish. We are underway and scoreless. Very nice play. Good heads up by Gabby as well to finish it. Marlins lineup looks this way. Gabby's in there, as you would expect, with Ugla still out. Emilio Bonifacio's at second. Logan Morrison's in left. Hanley at short. Gabby in the cleanup spot. Ched Tracy's at third base. Mike Stan in right. Maven's on a 7-game streak right now. Brett Hayes will do the catching, and Sanchez hits ninth.
And there's a look at the 24-year-old right-hander. Jordan Zimmerman. He has faced the Marlins before. It was not too long before he had Tommy John surgery last year, and he pitched pretty well. It was a no decision, and he went 6 innings back in July of 09, gave up 6 hits and a couple of runs. About a month and a half after that, he had Tommy John surgery.
And his name kind of disappeared off the radar as Bonifacio slaps it to left in a running catch by Bernardina. His name kind of dropped off the radar with the arrival, of course, of Steven Strasburg and Drew Storen. Defensively, brought to you by Boar's Head, the finest meats and cheeses.
Pretty good speed in Bernardina and Niger Morgan. Mike Morrison right. Zimmerman, a Gold Glover. Adam Dunn over to first. Desmond and Kennedy, the double play combination. And Pudge Rodriguez and his 13 Gold Gloves still plays with lots of energy back there.
Logan Morrison takes outside. Lomo's had a little bit of a rough patch the last few ball games. He's been so consistent. He was 0 for 3 last night.
Really working in the batting cage today, Rich. With John Maley, you hear the term, he got a little pull happy. So he's really working to get back to that stroke we saw when he first got here. A lot of line drives into left center.
We haven't seen a stretch like you just saw those numbers where he's had 6 strikeouts in 3 games.
And bottom line, he's not staying on the ball long enough, so you pull off a little bit, you don't see it, and you swing and miss.
At the knees, and it's 2-2. After the out, you ready for the first email of the night?
I'm ready. I mean, we had fun last night after the midnight hour. But I know you're ready to fire it out there.
2-2. Threw it by him. And down goes Morrison. All right, this is from Brent in West Palm. What time did you guys get home last night?
Myself, I got to the house about 2:35, 2:40.
That was about 1:50. Scott in Pembroke Pines wants to start off by saying, big Marlin fan, love the telecast, watch every email Tuesday. Wanted to know what you think of the club, or if the club will bring Edwin Rodriguez back, if not as the manager, as the bench coach. Hanley stands in. 7 straight for Hanley, and he takes a breaking ball down low. It's a good question, and it's probably not a question that anyone is equipped to answer until you get to late September or into October.
You know, the bottom line, you assess the job that Edwin has done.
Hanley got a breaking ball, and he hits it deep down the line. Bernardina is there, and he makes the catch.
Well, he just got under. That had upper deck written all over it, but he just missed it.
Scoreless.
botón del SAT.
Trying to get the aperture speed just right for this Ryan Zimmerman at bat, the shutter speed. Adam Dunn, Michael Morse against.
I want to throw in a quick answer to the Edwin Rodriguez question. You assess what he's done this year. He certainly deserves an opportunity to be back. Whether he is or not, we don't know. But as far as being interviewed for the job, he will be, I'm sure, and he certainly has deserved that opportunity with the job that he's done.
And the emailer, and it was Scott from Pembroke Pines, wanted to know manager or bench coach. Zimmerman sends it out to right center. There is Stanton, and he makes the catch. If he is not the manager, I think there's a pretty good chance that he might be a bench coach because of a guy like Mike Stanton, guys on this field that have played for him in the minor leagues.
Absolutely. All the guys that he's seen come up, young players, he has a real good idea about.
Here is Adam Dunn. Adam Dunn hit the ball real far last night, and we have to wait a couple days before our friends at the home run website.
I have it written down.
That's right.
To make sure you check tomorrow.
I already checked today just to see if it got posted early.
Okay, hittracker.com.
Yeah, hittrackeronline.com. And we should get the distances, not only the Dunn homer to center, but the Zimmerman one that knocked the M off of Sun Life Stadium.
Which has been repaired already. Quick work here at the ballpark. There it is. I mean, right there was where the ball was hit. Took the light off, took the M off, and it's back in business.
One-two. Sanchez saws him off. Long run because of the shift, and neither will get there. Sanchez and Tracy kind of collide.
I loved the fact that Anibal Sanchez raced over there because he realized the shift is on. He realized there wasn't anybody near third base and that he might be the only one who could make this play. Chad Tracy couldn't get there, but Anibal raced over there, and that's heads up. A lot of pitchers wouldn't pick that up and wouldn't move that way. So good effort. I think his catcher Brett Hayes is going to come out and just let him catch his breath maybe a little bit after that sprint.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, you okay? All right.
Dunn last night was 2 for 4. He also had an RBI double. He really is having a terrific year and has had such a productive career. We were talking earlier about OPS, on base plus slugging, and Dunn, I don't think a lot of people realize this, is 5th in the National League in OPS. Zimmerman is 4th. The top two, and it's a narrow margin, are the guys you would expect: Joey Votto, and Albert Pujols. Carlos Gonzalez is 3rd from the Rockies.
Guy they call Cargo. He's been on fire.
You'll never guess who is 6th. He's a guy that probably won't get much MVP consideration, but he's been extremely valuable.
Adrian Gonzalez.
No, close. Same division. Same side of the plate.
Aubrey Huff.
You got it. Aubrey Huff is 6th in OPS in the National League. My apologies to the AT&T trivia question. Didn't mean to start flipping phones early on you.
That was good, though.
Here's Michael Morse. Morse, the Nova High products. School located in Davie.
Talked to him a little bit before the game. He always enjoys coming here. He said, sure, you guessed it, Mom is here in attendance with a few other friends.
Not sure if he was stung by bees today or what the deal is.
Trying to figure out what those patches are. They're little Band-Aids.
Up the middle, off the mound, into center. Dunn will lumber to second, and that's as far as he gets. But with an out, the Nationals now have runners at first and at second. Super Saturday's coming up this weekend. Fat Joe will join Pitbull. Should be a great show on the 4th. Gilberto Santa Rosa is on the 18th, and the Steve Miller Band is on October 2nd. All presented by Baker Concrete. 1-877 Marlins, the number to call. You get the concert, the fireworks, giveaways, and of course a ball game. Here is Pudge, a hit last night, 2,803 in his long and illustrious career. This email question involves Pudge. It's from Lindsay in Farmingdale, Long Island. 1997-2003 World Series sign that's on display here at Sun Life Stadium. Will it be displayed in the new ballpark? I would have to think that,
I would say
yes,
absolutely.
You're going to see, if not that sign, a new and improved sign with the 2 World Championship.
I think in the new ballpark, you'll have a little bit more to work with, and it'll be yours.
Now it's a 2-part question from Lindsay, who's 10, by the way. 2-0 pitch, and it's fouled back. My dad, Vinny, has a Marlins logo tattoo he got at spring training. Please read this. I've been waiting all summer. There you go, Lindsay. I'm not sure if your dad's tattoo will be on display at the new ballpark, but if he comes to some games in 2012, we'll put him on TV.
But good job, Lindsay, with the email.
Guess it all depends on where the tattoo is, Lindsay.
This is just a good fastball with some movement. That ball kind of cuts away from Pudge, and he hits strike 2.
Sanchez ready, 2-2 coming. Went out there again, and the count stays 2-2.
The most innings ever for Anibal Sanchez at the major league level. As you look at the games played by catchers, Carlton Fisk at the top. Pudge will be ahead of him. Ted Simmons, Gary Carter, Bob Boone.
Breaking ball chopped foul.
But his rookie year for Anibal, the most innings up until this year that he'd ever pitched at the big league level, and that was 114 and a third.
Ben in Houston is calling us out. Said Tommy and Rich just talked about Logan Morrison slumping. Might it have to do with the fact that you're calling him Lomo? He does not like the nickname. Please pick a new one. Here's the 2-2. Oh, gorgeous breaking ball. Down goes Pudge. Sanchez strikes him out.
He's saying Lomo doesn't like the nickname, or Ben doesn't like the nickname?
Ben doesn't like the nickname.
Yeah, well, too bad, Ben. There's a good pitch right there.
Ben, that's what everybody calls him. You got an issue, you go down to the Marlins clubhouse.
I'll tell you this. We talked about maybe a little pull happy. He hit the home run. Remember, he hit the home run, his first home run? Yeah, maybe he thought he'd hit a few more, and all of a sudden his thought process got a little different at the plate.
Nigel Morgan takes a strike.
But thanks for watching, Ben.
Yeah, Ben, all we got to say is that's what everybody calls him in the clubhouse. So scoot on down there and take it up with those guys. Here's the 0-1. Chopper up the middle. Bonifacio flips. Hanley is there for the force. And a nice escape by Anibal Sanchez. up. He was involved in a terrific play to end the first inning when the Nationals had a runner at first base and one out.
Yeah, this fly ball launched to center field by Bernardina. The runner, Ian Desmond, was all the way around second. The throw, beautiful throw. Now it's a forced play at first, but the throw was a little offline, so Gabby came to get the ball and was able to put the tag on Desmond for the out. Nicely done, and our Checkers double play of the game.
And on cue, here's Gabby. Chad Tracy, Mike Stanton to follow. Gabby jumps on that ball, lines it to right, and it's into the gap, and it's by Morse. It gets to the wall. Gabby pulls in with a double, 34th on the season, leading all rookies.
Boy, that's just a solid swing. We've seen that all year. Gabby has picked apart the gaps. Left center, right center.
Look at that head right on the ball.
Stays right on it. He had a little trouble last night. Sometimes, I'm talking to John Maley about Gabby. Sometimes he maybe thinks a little too much, guesses a little too much, but no problem there. Beautifully done.
So Chad Tracy now with a runner at second. And nobody out here in the second. Now, this is the opposite of when a right-handed hitter is trying to push a ball to the right side. You see Zimmerman trying to pitch Tracy outside because he knows Tracy's looking for something in that he can pull. Gabby gets back in.
Good attempt, though, by the Nationals just to shorten up the lead of Gabby Sanchez. Veteran umpire Darrell Cousins out there at second.
One-0 to Tracy, and he fouls it off. This next email is from Alex in Tallahassee, senior at Florida State, grown up watching the Marlins. But I could never really come up with any questions on Email Tuesdays. Now that I actually have to think about life beyond college and getting a job, it got me thinking, what sort of credentials does it take to work behind the scenes for the Marlins broadcast team / crack staff, I would expect. Zimmerman with a fastball that misses high. There are all sorts of suggestions coming from the production truck right now as to what it takes to be on the staff, none of which we can broadcast over the air. 2-1 coming to Tracy. Any tips that we can give students who want to get into sports broadcast?
I would say, number one, to have a love of the sport. And that's going to help you right from the get-go.
I would say, as someone who didn't go to school and take any broadcasting classes, get involved if there is a student-run television station or student-run radio station. And that's it. I mean, it's kind of like riding a bike. You can take a class about riding a bike. You can read a book about riding a bike. You can watch a video about riding a bike. But until you get on the bike and fall on your butt and then get back up
again,
you don't know how to ride that bike. Tracy hits a fly ball in the gap, left center pretty deep. Bernardina's back. He's there. Gabby's tagging, and he's going to try it. Here comes the throw, and he is out. Bernardina, a terrific throw, and Sanchez on a sweep tag by Zimmerman. It's a double play.
I don't mind that. It's worth the try. You hate to make the first or the last out at third base. You're forcing Bernardina to make a perfect throw, and you know what? He did.
Great play by Zimmerman.
Good pick by Zimmerman, too. But you know what? That's a good try. I give that a shot every time.
That's pretty close, watching that replay. So here's Stanton. Michael takes a fastball for a strike. The hit last night snapped an 0 for 31. His body an awful lot quieter last night. The hands doing most of the work, which is what the Marlins and John Maley have really been working on. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. You could see just slowly and gradually some positive swings.
Stanton, nice play by Kennedy.
Now he's starting to get robbed.
That's okay. He's hitting the ball hard, and that's a good sign.
And the other way.
We are still scoreless. Call from home, pick up milk, some butter, and stay out of the rain. Email us, foxsportsflorida.com. Go to the Marlins link. Once you get to the Marlins link, click on Ask the Announcers. Or just go to, in your email address, askthemarlins@fox.com. That'll get you there as well. Strike, this is Jordan Zimmerman, not Ryan Zimmerman, so stand down, everyone. Ryan Zimmerman put one in orbit. Jordan is just figuring out all this hitting stuff. He's a young 24-year-old, but he was a terrific athlete growing up in Wisconsin. Went to Wisconsin Stevens Point. It's a fly ball to right. Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. Tommy, here's a question from Stacy of Fish Stripes, who lives in Wellington. She's a friend of the show. Did the football game that's scheduled for Thursday night figure into the decision not to postpone the game last night? And are the grounds crew earning overtime or extra duty pay with all the work they're having to do?
Well, I hope they do. I hope they earn combat pay and overtime and all that with the job that they did. I don't think the football game factored into the decision at all. The umpire's decision being this the last trip in for the Nationals.
I think the weather for the next couple of days probably factored into. They didn't really want to box themselves in and saying, going to play a doubleheader today or a doubleheader tomorrow, and then have that day interrupted by rain.
At this time of year, you just try everything you can to get them in, is the bottom line.
Because you run out of dates to play games. The Marlins have already lost an off day where they have to play the St. Louis Cardinals on a Monday, the 20th here. It's a 3 o'clock game.
I think I saw where the Phillies are in Los Angeles right now. Pretty soon we won't have to worry about that, Rich. Just zip this roof right on, covered up, play the game. But the Phillies, I believe, after their series in L.A., on their way back to Philadelphia, on Thursday, which was an off day. I think they have to stop in Denver and play the Rockies. So it happens to everybody.
Got in on his fists. Hanley just got him. In his younger years, Kennedy may have beaten that one out.
Yeah, good job by Hanley. Because that ball had some funny spin because Sanchez got in on the hands of Kennedy. Funny spin, gets up, has to fire hard, and just does get Kennedy.
Isaac from Highland Park in Illinois. Hi, guys. This is my first email. Do you think the Marlins will be seeing any big moves once the offseason comes? He feels that the Fish are close to a postseason team with just a few tweaks, and his suggestion would be a great closer. That's from Isaac in Highland Park, Illinois.
Well, I would like to see, then I would like to hear from Isaac and have him email us who are the great closers that he thinks the Marlins can get. Then you go from there. So think about that, Isaac. I don't think the Marlins will be able to get Mariano Rivera. So great closers. Tell me who they all are.
Mike Stanton makes a very nice catch.
And then you move from there.
All right, we can proceed. Isaac, you know the address. We'll be here for 6 more innings. That is happening at the Marlins sales headquarters. Starting on September 3rd, you can grab your coworkers and stop by the headquarters any Friday from 3 to 9 p.m. for a free cafecito and a happy hour. Or bring the family between 11 and 1 on Saturdays for lunch. The new headquarters directly across from the new ballpark. See how much fun they're having? 1-877-411-2012.
Got a question for you, Rich.
Yes?
Now, you and I tomorrow, we're going to go down. We're going to hang out at the new ballpark site. Are we going to get to go up where the booth where we'll be sitting might be?
I've been told yes. And that actually, there's an email that just popped up from Nick in Tampa. He wants to know, were you guys asked your opinion for the press box at the new stadium? Please read this so I can fight off all the Rays fans up here at the University of South Florida. Maven files it back to the screen. And we were. The architect of the stadium met with Fox Sports Florida people, with radio folk, and talked about press box, broadcast booths, and all of those things as they were designing the stadium.
I think you and I especially were very appreciative of that, because in talking to other broadcasters, that's not always the case. So we were able to give a little input.
Now, some of the input we gave them,
we didn't get.
Right. I mean, the big vibrating chair that I asked for.
Yeah.
Apparently would not fit in the booth. But
we didn't get the walk-in bar in the booth. We didn't get that.
The Austin Powers special where you press the button and the mirror comes back and there's fish swimming in. No. But we tried, and we can't wait. So tomorrow we're down there, and we'll show you pictures of that when we get back tomorrow night. Maben sprays that one over to first. Dunn knocks it down, picks it up. Whoa, that's close. And Zimmerman just got there in front of Cameron Maben.
It's another one of those squivers off the end of the bat, so it had some spin when it got to Dunn. Great job getting up the line by Cameron Maben. And whoa, that's very close. That very easily could have gone the other way.
Chuck in Coral Springs has this question for us in Exmo. Of course, we have the advantage of watching it 2 or 3 times in Exmo. Chuck wants to know, in your opinion, who would win a foot race? Bonifacio, Niger Morgan, Roger Bernardina, or Cameron Maben?
Okay, here's my answer to that. If you broke it down and they ran a 100-meter race, I would go with Bonifacio. He's a little quicker. If you went a 200 or a 440, then I would go with Cameron. He gets those long strides going, and he would take Bonifacio in the longer race. But in the quick sprint, I think I'd go with Bonifacio.
Dunn is there. Whoops. Started his reach and then met with the wall.
Hey, talking to the fans, this guy has fun. He doesn't take the game too seriously. Adam Dunn had a 5-year stretch. It was stopped last year, but he still had 38 home runs. He had a 5-year stretch where he had 40 or more home runs. And it was stopped last year, but he still hit 38 and had 105 RBIs.
It's a foul ball. So you're saying that Bonifacio's faster than Morgan then?
So it's Maben.
No, it's Bonifacio, Niger Morgan, Roger Bernardina, or Cameron Maben.
Oh, I just heard Bonifacio and Maben. You're throwing other names at me.
Oh, no. It was national. It was a 4-man grudge match. And I would throw this if you're going to.
I would say Bonifacio and Niger Morgan are very similar. Niger Morgan's a better base stealer though right now.
I know you're going by like 100-meter and 400-meter. What about from first to home with any of those guys?
That's where I might go with Maben.
Really?
Because of the long strides. He doesn't run out of gas, and he actually picks up a little speed when he rounds third. Morgan and Bonifacio up the line, up to first base. They're faster. I just have to listen to you better. That's all.
That's okay. We're both a little punchy. We're both a little punchy after last night. Here is Sanchez. Sanchez goes after a breaking ball from Zimmerman. We know Jordan Zimmerman is a tough guy. His senior year in college, he got hit by a ball in the mouth in batting practice, and he pitched the entire season with his jaw wired shut.
Drank a lot of Shake Shack milkshakes, I'm sure.
1-2. Missed down low. He was an outstanding quarterback in high school, growing up in Wisconsin. Star on the basketball team, and then went on to Wisconsin Stevens Point. Second-round pick. He was one of the compensation picks they got for losing Alfonso Soriano to free agency. So
another example, too, of a guy you mention often out of a small school, Division III college.
And who kind of disappeared from the landscape with the draft of Strasburg and Storen. And, of course, the Tommy John surgery. Ball boy's got to make a better effort on that, Tommy. I mean, you got the helmet on. Got the glove. I think you got to make a play on that. Maybe he lost in the lights. That would be a nice breaking ball from Zimmerman, and that would be strike 3. Fish and Nationals looking for a run. Glad you're with us tonight on Email Tuesday. Send us your emails. We'll get as many in as we can. Ask the Marlins at Fox.com. Look at the little girl with the baseball. How cool is that? Here's the trivia question, AT&T question. What current national committed to the University of South Florida before signing with the Expos?
You would have to think.
I know the answer to that one.
You'd have to think it's like a Mike Morse or a Desmond or somebody like that.
Roger Bernardino, who would be in that race to see who's fastest on these teams.
Desmond went to high school in Sarasota. Mike Morse, Nova High School.
I'm going.
Well, you said you know, so you can't go with it.
All right. I'll save it. Here's a 1-2. We really do need a day off, don't we? Or a night off. Or just a good night's sleep. That would work. 1-2 to Bernardino. He hit the fly ball to right center that Maven tracked down and then doubled up Desmond at first base.
Last 3 games, because he's been on a nice little stretch, the last 3 games he's hit in the number 3 spot in the lineup. Has a 5-game hitting streak.
Swing and a miss by Bernardino. Let's check in with Allison Williams. Allison?
Hello, Rich. As Ryan Zimmerman comes up to bat here, he put an absolute shot out of the park last night in the 3rd inning, all the way up and over left field. It actually took out the M in the Sun Life Stadium sign. Now, that has been replaced, and it's fully working. He said that's absolutely the first time he's ever knocked any lights out with any of his shots. I told him how you guys were comparing him to the natural Roy Hobbs. He said, he laughed. He said, that's about the only thing I have in common with that character. Adam Dunn reminded him, though, that he doesn't. He also uses a wooden bat, much like the natural. Dunn, of course, is a pretty good character in the clubhouse, and I was talking to him about Zimmerman's shot. He agreed he's never seen it hit it that far. He just hopes it's not further than his longest shot. That's all he had to say. And he also, Adam Dunn, it should be noted, leads the league in a category called no doubters on hittracker.com. That's those shots that, without a doubt, are going out of the park. And when I told Dunn about that, he laughed. He said, well, of course, no doubt. Of course I do. Both guys known for their big bats, and ironically, they both use this same bat. Adam Dunn uses the Jeff Conine version, and a couple years ago he recommended it to Ryan Zimmerman. He's been using it, and it's worked pretty well. He had 33 homers last year, 25 so far this year for Zimmerman. Guys?
So it's all Conine's fault.
Yeah.
Blame it on Niner.
Yeah, we'll talk to him later.
I remember that last time the Nationals were here, we got into that discussion. 0-2 coming. Zimmerman takes outside. Anibal Sanchez working here in the 4th. Zimmerman flied to right his first time up. This one is to center. Maben went back, now trots in and makes the catch. Now you're 2 outs, and here comes Dunn.
Can't talk about Anibal Sanchez. I always mention that no-hitter, and it seems like this year, every time you look at a box score or a game, there's a near no-hitter. Last night, Hiroki Kuroda of the Dodgers went 7 1/3 innings before he gave up his first hit. Shane Victorino, a base hit off of him.
Breaking ball misses inside. Sebastian, actually Michael from Sebastian. 2 questions. Can you tell me what's up with Dan Ugla? Well, his still has a groin strain, and the Marlins being very careful with him. He may miss tomorrow's game as well, and hopefully back on Friday night. Time is called. Also, he heard nothing about Hanley's shortness of breath on Sunday, and it was simply that. He was lightheaded, actually, and chose to come out of the ball game back in the lineup and ready to go. In fact, was back in the lineup last night, homered in his first at bat. 2-1 pulled foul. You see the shift with the Handley and Bonifacio way over. Gabby's on the line. 2-2 coming. Now Dunn isn't like Brian McCann, who will drop down a bunt. Dunn just says what the heck with it. But he has hit more balls over to that side this year than before.
You know, the two guys that we've seen do that often, we don't see one of the guys very much, is Carlos Pena of the Rays. He'll do that.
High pop. Maben is there. And Cameron makes the catch. Very nice fourth inning for Anibal Sanchez. We're rolling through a scoreless game. Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONY. By South Florida Ford. Visit southfloridaford.com for great offers. By Checkers, little place, big taste. By Corona, kick back, relax with an ice cold Corona and lime. Enjoy Corona today. And by Boar's Head, premium deli meats and cheeses. Well, the full moon was certainly, it felt like a full moon last night, that's for sure. With all the rain, the puddles, the weird stuff going on, and the Nationals pounding the Fish 9-3. Tonight, a good pitchers matchup. Bonifacio at the top of the order. Logan Morris and Hanley Ramirez to follow here in the bottom of the fourth.
A couple of quick strikes, a fastball, a curveball from Zimmerman to Bonifacio. Bonifacio hit the ball hard first time up. Line drive into left field.
By the way, Michael Hill sends his apologies. He has been called away and is unable to attend tonight. And we will have him on next week. One-two coming. Zimmerman misses outside. Bonifacio's liner almost got over Bernardina's head. 4 straight games for Emilio, which he has hit. Breaking ball got him. Good sharp breaking ball. Let's do the trivia. I'm going Sarasota on you.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, Rich. I think you might be.
Ian Desmond.
Always good baseball at the University of South Florida.
There's Lomo. And a breaking ball for a strike. He went down swinging in the first. Marlins have just the one hit, and Gabby, with his double in the second, was erased, trying to go to third on a fly ball out.
Jordan Zimmerman's having success. He has a live enough fastball, and it's a little sneaky at times, but also because he's getting that curveball over with consistency.
Count still 0-2. You can see how the Nationals were trying to build their rotation with Strasburg arriving this year. Marquis was going to be the veteran of the group, but he had elbow issues. He's back in the rotation now, and he actually pitched pretty well last night. Then you got Zimmerman just off the disabled list. Scott Olsen pitches tomorrow night. So the Nationals aren't that far away from having a decent rotation.
Well, 5 strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman. They're going to have to wait a while for Strasburg to reemerge. They re-upped Levon Hernandez, so they'll have another veteran along with Marquis next year.
Here's Hanley now.
Right now, Zimmerman struck out 4 in a row.
It started with Hayes, then Anibal Sanchez, Bonifacio, Morrison. Inside corner, 0-2. And the Tommy John surgery on August 19th, 2009. No swing.
Now, when I talked to the Nationals pitching coach, Steve McCaddy, about Zimmerman and his comeback, he said he's come back nicely. They are being careful with him, so you might keep your eye on the pitch count for Zimmerman.
One, two. It's down low.
The other thing you throw into the mix with some of the young pitching that the Nationals have, you throw into the mix pitching to a guy like Pudge Rodriguez and how important that is.
Two coming. Gets Hanley. How about that? Jordan Zimmerman has struck out 5 in a row as he gets Hanley Ramirez. Marlins upcoming schedule brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Nationals tomorrow night. It's a Chris Volstad, Scott Olsen start. Intriguing matchup. Just as we look at the Marlins schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair color. Michael Morse. Yvonne Rodriguez and Niger Morgan had an email a few minutes ago wanting to know which of the Nationals went to Nova High School. All of my kids have gone there. My youngest is there right now. It's from Ed in Davie. There's your answer, Ed. Morse goes after a big breaking ball.
Yeah, Michael Morse actually initially drafted in the 3rd round by the White Sox.
He was involved in a big trade to Seattle.
Spent a little time with Seattle. Never really got a full shot, much of an opportunity. This has been his best shot at the major league level.
And right now he's taking advantage of it. He's having a very nice year. His average over 300. He singled in the 2nd. He's 11 for his last 16.
It's amazing, too, because this is his 12th year as a professional.
Wow, it's amazing.
Drafted in 2000 by the White Sox. And really his first opportunity at a full shot at this major league level.
And he's 28, so you're right about that. He's put up good numbers in AAA in the minor leagues.
Yeah, good minor league numbers.
Here's Pudge.
I think he's helping his case because he's shown the Nationals he can play a lot of positions. He's played about 5 or 6 positions this year.
Pudge, a strikeout victim in the 2nd. So we got 2 pitchers here tonight who are both on their game. Both have used their outfield for double plays. Cameron Maben's throw to first with help from Gabby Sanchez. Then Gabby himself got nabbed at 3rd by Roger Bernardina with help from Ryan Zimmerman.
Both also have used terrific breaking balls with sneaky moving fastballs. Anibal Sanchez and Jordan Zimmerman with good live fastballs, and I think they are a great example as you watch these 2 guys who can pitch successfully at this level without having to throw 98 miles an hour. They're both right around 92, 93.
Sanchez has 5 strikeouts. Zimmerman has 6. Pudge a liner. Gabby's there. And there's 2 outs.
Speaking of 98 miles an hour, saw where the Cincinnati Reds called up the 22-year-old Cuban phenom, Aroldis Chapman. We were talking about last night. He was clocked in his last minor league game 103. He had one 105 miles an hour. And they're going to put him in the bullpen.
Little bunt, and it's going to roll foul. Niger Morgan will trot back to home plate. Quickly into the email bag. Jay in Chicago wants to know, do you think the Marlins can sign Dan Uggla to a new contract before the arbitration deadline? Sounds like they're trying.
Sounds like they're trying. We sure hope they do.
Sanchez has nasty stuff tonight.
Yeah, you can see the frustration, hear a little bit of it from Niger Morgan on that swing. And we didn't have to apologize for what he said either.
Yeah, that was last night. A few more folk in the house tonight. A little more ambient noise tonight. Last night at 12:30 in the morning or whenever it was. One, two. That may have clipped Jim Wolf.
Hey, by the way,
left arm.
Jim Wolf's going to take a little moment here. Tip of the cap to yesterday, Andre Dawson, Marlins Hall of Famer, special assistant to the president. Yesterday in Chicago was declared Andre Dawson Day by the mayor. And he was honored at Wrigley Field prior to the game, had a few words to say to the fans. So it's been a great run for the Hawk ever since he found out he was going into the Hall of Fame, and then the induction ceremonies, the great speech, and then having a day declared in his honor in Chicago yesterday.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Have they retired Hawk's number yet?
No.
They've just put his flag up, right?
Actually, Mike Quaddy, the interim manager, is wearing number 8.
Nigel Morgan dumps that one into left field. That's a base hit. Up with the ball is Morrison. Good strong throw and a relay back to first. And Morgan scampers back, throws down a elbow pad. He's an excitable guy, Nigel Morgan is.
I know Andre Dawson and Gary Carter had their names put up on the Ring of Honor in D.C. at Nationals Park. So that was a great honor for the Hawks.
Ground ball. Bonifacio goes on over to first in time. Jordan Zimmerman bounces out. Only 2 hits for the Nationals, only 1 for the Fish. We have Anibal Sanchez on the mound. Hopefully we can bounce back. The Marlins, after 2 sloppy games last night in the wet and the muck here, and of course the meltdown in Atlanta, trying to bounce back. Anibal Sanchez has done his part here tonight. He's pitched very, very well, but so has that guy, Jordan Zimmerman.
Well, right now, Jordan Zimmerman has 5 straight strikeouts. All of a sudden, an alarming trend is taking place. The last 8 outs last night for the Marlins were strikeouts to finish off that game.
Gabby doubled in the second. Breaking ball is high. This is from Aaron in Gainesville. Tommy and Rich, always enjoy watching you guys up in Gainesville. Live in a house with 7 other guys, all big Marlin fans.
See, we would enjoy broadcasting a game from their house.
See, I think that'd be a good idea. We ought to do that. I'm all for that. After the close call with Maben at first, we broke into a conversation about instant replay in baseball. And the only way to settle it, we pose it to you guys. Do you think instant replay beyond the current format would be beneficial for baseball?
I think it will be. I think eventually we'll see it, but not on plays like that. I mean, you have to limit the number of times you can have instant replay. And you have to select the moments in a game.
Well, I'll tell you,
when you have it.
Here's a great example. There was a play at first base when Gabby got the double play, and it looked like he might not have gotten the tag in. And then on watch this one, when Gabby was sliding in on his double play, he's actually in front of the Zimmerman tag. Gabby hits a ball in the deep shortstop. Desmond winds up and throws him out. That's the strong arm of Ian Desmond. So, beyond its current format, I guess the question would be, what kind of format would you go for?
Then you have to determine how many times, because if you don't, you're going to have every close play under scrutiny of instant replay. So you have to determine importance of the game later in the game, even though I know a play early in the game can be just as meaningful. So it's going to take a while, I think, to figure out some kind of format.
We had an emailer a couple weeks ago that, similar to a college football situation, in that he proposed having a fifth umpire. And the umpire was watching the game on television with all the replays available. And if there was a play, the umpire would call down and say, hold on, gentlemen, let's look at this again. Look at the play. And then, you know, hey, the magic of cell phones, text him or whatever and say, hey, you missed it, he was safe or he was out. You like that?
I like that because it doesn't seem like it would take too much time.
Right.
However, it took us time to finally find the shot of Gabby Sanchez at third base.
Here is Chad Tracy. That angle that we got was actually the angle from the Nationals broadcast truck. And similar to the home run replay that's in place right now, the folks back in New York take both feeds. So they get the replays of both trucks.
Which eliminates any, well, let's say, home
monkey business.
Yeah, any little monkey business. Well, no, we don't have that feed. Gee, I guess it does stand up for a home run. Yeah,
right.
That eliminates that.
Here's a 1-2. Tracy hits it in the air out to center. Niger Morgan is there. He makes the catch, and we check in with Allison Williams. Allison?
Guys, just along the discussion of using instant replay in baseball, we just saw him use it in the Little League World Series, and it really didn't cause much of a delay. I think the average amount of time that they spent on replays was under 2 minutes. So you would think that if it worked in the Little League World Series and it was effective and a bunch of 13-year-olds didn't mind waiting around for a little bit, maybe it could work in the big leagues as well.
Was there do you remember, Allison, was there a limit to the number of times they could have instant replay? I don't know.
I don't know if there was a limit, but I know it didn't get used very often. And I think the average amount of time that it took for them to spend actually looking at it was something under a minute, and then the overall delay was under 2 minutes.
And I think the delay for the replay would be a wash with the time it took for a manager to go out and scream and kick and throw hats and dirt and all that. That one is fouled back to the screen. All right, we've got a very important email here, Tommy. Darlene from Miami, the desperate mother that was at the Marlins-Braves game last Friday, had a sign that said, Giancarlo, please date my daughter.
Yeah, we had a shot of that.
Of course, we know that that's Mike Stanton's first name. And she wanted to know if we could show that clip because she wanted to see herself on television. There you go.
There you are.
There's the daughter. So there you go, Darlene. Good luck with that, by the way. That one's fouled back. I don't think arranged marriages work, though, Tommy.
Well, in other countries, maybe. I don't know if they work so well here.
But, of course, she was just looking for a date. 2-2 coming to Stanton with 2 outs. Mike lined out back in the second. He looks much more comfortable at the plate. And he takes inside, and that's just that pitch right there is a sign that he's come a long ways from the 0 for 31.
He had some at-bats in Atlanta where he really just went up there and wailed away without much of an idea.
And that's sort of the, what's that natural phenomena? The wild animal can smell fear. Major league pitchers can smell that. They know when a guy is up there and just hacking, and they won't throw you anything you can hit.
Yeah, not only can they smell it, word gets out, and they know it.
Is that 2 souvenirs for that group there on the rail?
It's a pretty good night.
Fastball, Zimmerman blows it by him. So Jordan Zimmerman with 7 strikeouts. They're having a good time.
Vía SAP y es presentado por KFC.
On an email Tuesday, little dinner. Looked like chicken strips and fries. Adam Kennedy facing Anibal Sanchez. Look at the comparison between these two guys. It's been a great night for pitchers.
Boy, look at that. Only one walk for the two pitchers. Zimmerman with 7 strikeouts, Sanchez with 5.
The biggest difference, as you saw, was the pitch count. Sanchez is about 20 pitches further along than Zimmerman. Kennedy swings and misses. Tommy, this is one of the best emails we've received maybe all year.
All right.
And this is from Craig, who is serving aboard the USS Georgia. I've been serving in the U.S. Navy for 19 years, and I've been a Marlins fan since their first pitch. When I'm in port, I try to watch as often as I can when we are home, our home port of Kings Bay, Georgia. And occasionally, I get a chance to watch a game on the Armed Forces Network.
He probably has to deal with a few Braves fans.
Anyways, he says, I am due to retire from the U.S. Navy submarine service in 2011, and one of the traditions for those retiring from the service is to present a retirement flag to the retiree that has been flown over places that have special meaning to the service member. 1-2 is up. I would love to have my retirement flag flown over the new Marlins Stadium, but as you can see, I'll retire before the park is complete. I was curious to see if you might know, is there a flag flying over the construction site right now? There's a liner, foul, and if there is, who would I need to talk to about sending my retirement flag? If there's no flag at the construction site, I would like to find out if it's possible to have mine flown over either the construction site or Sun Life Stadium. Either way, it would make me proud. Thanks for the great entertainment that you and the crack staff provide. That's from Craig.
What a great email from Craig, and thank you, Craig, for all your service.
On the USS Georgia. Well, I'll tell you what, Craig, tomorrow we are going down to that site. Tommy and I are going down.
That's right.
We're going to tour the site, and we will look to see if there actually is a flag that's flying above the construction site. And we will talk to Claude Delorme.
We'll check with Claude,
who is the man, and ask him if we can fly your flag over the construction site. Yeah, maybe we can get it up over here at Sun Life in the final year next year. Flip on to first, and Gabby has it. If you can for us, Craig, send us an email with your contact information so that we can contact you. And I think the guys in the truck should have his email as well. So that's a good one.
Yeah, Claude Delorme, the Executive Vice President of Ballpark Development, spends hours and hours tirelessly overseeing all the goings-on at the beautiful new facility.
What's Claude going to do once they open the place? Probably help run it, actually.
Yeah, he'll still, I'm sure he'll still be busy, yeah.
His life has just been a whirlwind for the last 2.5, 3 years. Ball and a strike. Sanchez is approaching 100 pitches. Marlins trying to get him through this 6th inning with the Desmond up. He cracks one to right. Long run for Stanton. Michael closing, but he won't get there. So thankful that last night nobody got hurt in the outfield, be it a Stanton or a Maben or a Morrison or any of the national outfielders, because the first couple of innings, the water out there was pretty treacherous.
You saw outfielders sloshing around. Logan Morrison himself chasing down a ball. I remember in foul territory, slid about 20 feet and then crashed into the padded fence down there.
We had a line drive single to center stop right in the middle of the grass, well before the center fielder. Maben in his track right there. Makes the catch. Baker Concrete Super Saturday on the 4th. Pitbull and special guest Fat Joe. It's the Marlins and the Braves at 7:10. Fireworks spectacular as well. It's all presented by South Florida Ford dealers. And fans can also get a rally flag courtesy of Budweiser. Roger Bernardina.
Good job on that last fly ball. Look at Cameron. He just squares up. He didn't go back. He didn't go in. If you're not sure, square up to it and then figure out which way it's going. Is it going to go back or you have to go in a little bit?
Count is 0-2. Zimmerman on deck. You see the pitch count 103. And Sanchez is due up third next inning. So you get a sense that he sees the finish line and is trying to finish strong. And boy, does he. He strikes out Roger Bernardino. Well, we'll see, depending on how the inning unravels, if this is the last for Sanchez. But he's had a great night so far. Marlins and Nationals, along with our crack staff and our brilliant production crew here on Fox Sports Florida. Cameron Maben goes after a Zimmerman fastball, trying to bunt it, misses. It's 0-1. Jeff Conine, Allison Williams, Tommy Hutton, Rich Waltz with you. John Sulcer's our producer. Jim Holly, our director. Ken Lee, our graphics coordinator. And that's just the tip of the iceberg with our production folk. Zimmerman's breaking ball misses in.
You know, as this inning starts, one of the questions we had was the status of Anibal Sanchez. Now, lightly throwing in the bullpen, it looks like Jose Veras has just started. So we'll have to see what the outcome will be if Sanchez goes back out. He appears that he's ready to go ahead and pitch the seventh inning.
Veras is ready.
I think he's getting ready in case the Marlins get a little something going, get a few men on base.
Maben takes a strike after taking a pitch that looked like a strike. And the count is 2-2. That is in, and the count goes full now at 3-2. Jordan Zimmerman, 24. Last year with the Nationals before the injury, he was 3-5. He made 16 starts. In 2008, he was their minor league pitcher of the year. Maven is hitting 7 straight, but an 0 for 1 night tonight. And he fouls it back.
Six in a row since joining the ball club from AAA. That 7-game streak goes back a while.
Foul back. Let's check in with Allison.
Guys, it'll be interesting to see with what happens this inning and how it dictates how the Nationals use Zimmerman moving forward. The goal tonight was to get 5 or 6 good innings out of him, keep him under 100 pitches, as this is just his second start back from Tommy John surgery. And I know Tommy talked to pitching coach Steve McCaddy earlier. I did as well. And he said that this year they might limit a little bit of what he does. They just want him to get some experience, learn the pitchers, learn the hitters. And they also want to make sure that they try and get about 90 innings, which is about how many he had last year. The big thing, though, for them is just to get him some repetition this year, keep him healthy, because they really see him being a top of the rotation guy come next year.
Oh, absolutely. They certainly do, and they hope that with the Tommy John time clock moving forward, that they might get Strasburg back by September, late September next year, as they try to assemble a starting rotation.
But I tell you what, Jordan Zimmerman has been impressive. At 7 strikeouts, his career high, albeit a short career, he pitched in 09. His career high is 8.
Joe in Pensacola wants to know, where are the girls? Not that I don't appreciate you guys, and I do tune in every night to watch the Marlins, but how about the Mermaids? Why don't we see more of them? Why not put together a highlight reel like the 10-run reel? Well, if you saw that last roll-in, we actually had them in slow motion. Not only slow motion, but X-Mo, which is super slow. So there you go, Joe. Clippard and Slayton are up. 1-1. Sanchez is on deck.
I think Tyler Clippard has his own phone down in the bullpen and pitches and gets up every night. They have a direct line to Tyler Clippard.
And many people focus on the wear and tear of starting pitchers and pitch counts and all that. Middle relievers in this game can take a real pounding.
And they are monitored by bullpen coaches who keep track of the number of times they warm up.
Struck him out, and Zimmerman keeps ringing up strikeouts.
You know, that ties his career high. 8 strikeouts, no walks for Jordan Zimmerman.
Let's freeze something. Coors Light freeze cam time. This was the play at third base. The sweep tag there. Looks like he's out, but oh, wait a minute. That's close. That's bang bang. And you can see where the umpire is standing. Mike Esterbrook's angle is, he doesn't have that clear-cut angle.
And that's the best angle for him, by the way.
Right. He sees Zimmerman's glove go to the chest and swipe by the chest of Gabby before his hand's on the bag. He's going to call him out.
That happens a lot at second base in stolen base attempts. If the throw beats the runner, even if that runner maybe pulls a little trickery and gets the hand on the bag, if the swipe tag's down there before the runner gets there, if the ball beats him, usually he's called out.
Some of that, Tommy, inherently is umpires protecting fielders, because most of the time guys slide feet first with spikes, and if infielders stay in there all the time to get that tag, sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes you catch spikes on your glove, on your hand. So if you get the glove down there in time, a lot of times you get the benefit of the doubt. 2007. And so just a little gesture of that. And he has that routine before every inning. Breaking ball misses outside.
Well, an important inning, trying to get him 7 innings, but he gets Zimmerman, Dunn, and Morse.
Zimmerman 0 for 2 tonight. That one goes to the screen. For Toyota trend, it's raining. And all-time versus Florida. When the Nationals hit 2 or more homers, they are 16-8. And those guys both hit 3-run homers last night. Zimmerman sends that one up into the rain. Maben has plenty of room. It's not easy looking up there into that wet stuff. But Cameron makes the catch.
I would bet a number of times in that stat, 16-8, that Zimmerman had a lot to do with it.
So the breakdown is this. Sanchez now at 6 1/3 innings. 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, and 107 pitches. Jordan Zimmerman 6 innings, 1 hit. He's faced the minimum, no walks, 9 punch-outs.
Well, they have their bullpen busy. He may be done for the evening.
And as Allison pointed out, they're very cautious with him. It's just start number 2 after Tommy John surgery. Although the Nationals last night showed, and we told you going into the game, their bullpen is pretty good. Last night, Joel Peralta, Tyler Clippard, Craig Stammen, all they did was throw 3 1/3 of 1-hit shutout ball.
Looks like Peralta again.
Nationals bullpen is 4th in the National League in ERA.
Last night, their bullpen in that 3 1/3 gave up just the 1 hit, had 9 strikeouts.
Fastball misses up and in. How about this? Email from Casey. Rich and Tommy, my name is Casey, and I'm currently working as a project manager at the new Marlins ballpark for Baker Concrete. While there isn't a flagpole currently on site, the closest will be across the street. We would gladly build a flagpole in order to fly the American flag proudly. And if it's okay with Claude, of course. And when you're on site tomorrow, give him a call, and it'll be done. And so the gentleman that's retiring that wants to have his retirement flag flown, Craig, aboard the USS Georgia tomorrow, we will check into it, and it sounds like the folks down there, if there isn't a flagpole, are ready to build you one. How cool would that be? So Casey is the guy we need to ask for tomorrow. Ground ball, that's way out in the right, and Bonifacio can't get there. And so Dunn singles. And that brings up Michael Morse. Victoria has this question from Palm Beach Gardens after we look at the shift.
Got the shift on, and still Adam Dunn's able to find a hole. Gets it to the right of Bonifacio.
So Dunn's at first.
Wanted to know if he had the green light.
Yeah, right. When's the last time that he had the green light? Victoria from Palm Beach Gardens, 2 questions. Whenever the cameras show the Marlins bullpen, is Reed Cornelius wearing shin guards? Does he actually warm up one of the pitchers, or does he just like wearing catcher's gear?
Well, first of all, if that's Victoria, who I think it might be in Palm Beach Gardens, she is a tremendous Marlins fan. And yeah, Reed does. Tonight he doesn't have the shin guards on, but yeah, at times he does warm up some of the pitchers down there.
She also asked about Anibal Sanchez kissing the baseball before delivering a pitch. That's why we showed it coming out of the break.
That shows you what an astute fan Victoria is.
2-1 to Morris. Singled in the second, struck out in the fifth. Varus is ready. Ullman is up. Sanchez to the plate. And Morse went after a diving, tailing fastball. And it's 2-2.
You would love to see Anibal Sanchez get through this inning, but that pitch count's getting up there. Because if he gets through the inning, then he at least has a shot to get a win in this game. And how ironic, after not pitching that well in New York, 9 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings, and he got the win in that game. And locked in a 0-0 tie here.
You see, when he comes home, the kid from Fort Lauderdale really swings it. 11 for his last 16 overall. Remember, the Nationals had the great weekend series where they took 3 of 4 from the Cardinals. Got him. Hayes squeezes. Sanchez gets the strikeout.
Well, it's a great example. He's gotten that pitch count to 120, but he's still got life on his fastball, throwing easy and making good pitches.
7 strikeouts for Sanchez. Here's Pudge now. Struck out, lined out. Pudge has another year on his contract. He signed a 2-year deal with the Nationals. And I'm sure at his age, he's 38, the Nationals weren't quite sure what they were going to get, but they have to really be pleased with the way he's played.
I think overall he's caught a lot more games than they expected.
Yes. And he's been a good influence in the clubhouse for a team with a lot of youngsters on it. You see his last 3 years.
He's going to give you line drive base hits. He's still a clutch hitter. Coming into this game, he was hitting .337 with runners in scoring position. He's not going to give you the power that maybe he once had, but he's going to give you great leadership behind the plate.
You saw the 3-year comparison, and the on-base percentage has come down each of the last 3 years. Do you think that's in proportion to the closer he gets to 3,000 hits, the more he's swinging?
A little more anxious. I think as you get older, you cheat a little bit on fastballs. So now you're going out of the strike zone a little bit more. By the way, the 124 pitches, a career high for Anibal Sanchez tonight. But he's looked good.
Two. Missed up.
And not too high. That's going to be one of those. It's a strike. I guarantee this ball's in the box. That's a high strike. There it is, number 5. That's strike 3.
So the count is full. Dunn will be moving. Sanchez to the plate and a liner to right. Stanton is right there, and he makes the catch. Anibal Sanchez, a career high in pitches and 7 scoreless innings. Sanchez has been brilliant tonight. 7 innings of shutout ball. He's allowed just 3 hits. In our game recap, a lot of strikes from both pitchers.
Well, when there's no score, you know this recap's full of pitching. Tremendous effort tonight by Anibal Sanchez. Movement on the fastball. The breaking ball was there, a career high in pitches. And how about Zimmerman? He has been equally as tough. Jordan Zimmerman has been sneaky fast, a curveball that's been dynamite, and has a career high with 9 strikeouts. So he turns it over to Joel Peralta, and Anibal Sanchez will turn it over to the Marlins bullpen.
Peralta, as we told you last night, looked very, very good. Part of the Nationals bullpen. Pudge races out to talk to Peralta. An inning and a third last night. And Peralta part of that group that had the 9 strikeouts. Zimmerman there as well. And a lot of this may have to do with the guy at the plate, and that's Bonifacio.
Hey, the biggest difference, Rich, by the way, is just one more note on the 2 pitchers. Zimmerman had just 86 pitches, and Anibal Sanchez 126.
Bonifacio, Morrison, and Hanley in the 7th. He does bunt, but he pops it foul over the screen. Did that guy dump his beer going after that ball?
That's a quick decision. You have to make that quick decision. Beer or ball? What's it going to be? He got greedy and tried to go for both. And he got nothing. See, he tried to hold on to the beer and get the ball, and he got nothing.
It's a great catch the other night with a guy walking with a beer in one hand, reached up, made a one-hand catch, didn't spill a drop. Pitch to Bonifacio. Pulls it on the ground. Kennedy is over for it and throws out Bonifacio. The Nationals have faced the minimum tonight thanks to Zimmerman's 6 innings of 1-hit balls.
Yeah, and he was helped out by that double play. And that's been it.
Here's Logan Morrison now. Morrison's skid has continued with 2 more strikeouts tonight.
Yeah, I think that's been the alarming part. You saw Logan first come up, saw him drive a lot of balls the other way. Good on base percentage, not a lot of strikeouts, but all of a sudden the strikeouts are piling up.
Peralta misses outside. So Morrison 0 for 5 in this series.
Still came into this game, though, with an on-base percentage at 400, a little below that now.
Well, remember the last start that Anibal Sanchez had. There were a couple of occasions that Edwin Rodriguez said he was 1 pitch away from coming out. Remember, he just survived. He went 5 innings, didn't look good. Gave up 9 hits, 4 runs. But his team scored 11 runs for him, and he beat the Mets. And he said that's one of those games where you don't pitch well and your team picks you up. Well, tonight's one of those nights where he pitched brilliantly. But so did Jordan Zimmerman.
Right now, a little frustration setting in with Logan Morrison because there have been some pitches over the last couple of days that he's got pretty good pitches to hit, and he's fouled them straight back.
Just keep the kids away from the foul balls. Two one coming. That's on the inside part. So an 0 for 9 with 5 punch outs, 2 and 2. Peralta on a hot streak right now. He's given up just 1 earned run in his last 7 appearances. Been in the big leagues for parts of 6 seasons with the Angels, the Royals, the Rockies, and now the Nationals. You see Hanley on deck. A 3-2 count on Logan Morrison. Marlins only hit tonight a Gabby Sanchez double. And that all the way back in the 2nd inning. And that's the first walk of the night that the Marlins have earned. Family Sunday, remember this Sunday, and please mark your calendars appropriately. 12:10 start, Marlins and Braves. You get to the ballpark early, the first 5,000 kids get a Ricky Nolasco drawstring bag courtesy of Preferred Care Partners. Kids can run the bases in the Diamond Dash, 1-877-MARLINS.
Yeah, remember that. Rich, you remember that too, 12:10 start.
I will, because we have to. That's a Labor Day weekend, which will be labor intensive for us. A Friday night, Saturday night, noon start on Sunday, fly to Philly, day-night doubleheader on Monday. Opening up a 4-game series in Philadelphia.
A lot of cheesesteaks Monday.
Hanley takes a breaking ball for a strike. JM Lexus presents leaders of the game. Hanley Ramirez in the month of August. You see Braun and Pujols. JM Lexus, price made us #1. 18 years running. Click jmlexus.com to find out how.
Well, the Marlins have a series coming up in Milwaukee. They'll see Ryan Braun, 4-game series.
I would venture to say the Marlins have never been to Milwaukee that late in a season.
Probably true.
One ball, one strike.
I would venture to say the Pirates have never been to South Florida that late in the season either.
Yeah, the Marlins get to Milwaukee the 23rd of September. The Pirates arrive here the 30th of September. Peralta is 1-1. Outside corner, you hear Hanley saying, come on. That's a borderline pitch.
Well, we've seen Jim Wolf call that pitch, yet we've not seen him call that high strike. Now, Logan Morrison, he's not a base stealer, but he's a very good base runner. So you think about that, if Hanley could get something in the gap. Outfielders are very deep, though.
Whoa. Kind of spun his wheels a little bit.
Might have been thinking about going.
And he's going to go out and make sure that the earth beneath his feet isn't as slippery as that was. If Dunn was a little quicker on the trigger there, he might have been out. One, two. Hanley drives it. Left center field. Morgan back. He'll have room and make the catch.
Hanley's hit a couple of balls well tonight. Remember his first time up, he just missed a pitch. Launched it high in the air to left field for an out. That one he just got under. But a long out, and they're 2 down.
We've had a few emails wanting to know what happened to Mike Hill. We told you in the 4th inning that Mike had been called away on business, and so he was unable to attend our telecast tonight.
Because when he is here, he's always so gracious to help us out, give us some good answers.
But he promises next time we have an email Tuesday and he's around, he's there. Gabby's up with 2 outs. And Peralta misses outside with a breaking ball. Close and late. Coughlin is still on top of that list. We hope that Chris's rehab is going well. We know he had his surgery about 3 weeks ago. Successful.
And we know he's going to work hard at that rehab.
One of the questions that was all lined up for Mike Hill was, and something that I know you and I wanted to talk to him about, was the process of moving Chris Coughlin from left field to third base.
Yeah, I think we also wanted to ask him, and we'll have time, a few more weeks of the season, to the progress of Matt Dominguez, young third baseman.
Comes a 1-1. Gabby hits it hard, but foul.
Well, you have right now, you have the Nationals in that prevent defense. Zimmerman guarding the line. The outfielders are exceptionally deep because they want to cut off the ball in the gap to try to stop a runner scoring from first base.
And Peralta, who was tough last night, taking over for Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman 6 innings of 1 hit ball. Anibal Sanchez 7 innings of 3 hit ball, both spinning a shutout so far. Peralta trying to keep that going for the Nationals. Morrison's at first. One, two. Changeup got him. Gabby was out in front. Peralta has been nails these last 2 nights. And we are going to the 8th. Scoreless. The Marlins and the Nationals. You can see not a lot of hits in this one. Jose Veras is in. And Veras, well, he gets the baton, so to speak, in this relay of shutouts. First it was Jordan Zimmerman, then Joel Peralta for the Nationals. Anibal Sanchez went 7 innings, and now Jose Veras. It's his turn to try to keep the Nationals off the scoreboard, keep the shutouts going.
You know, the one little number that is bothersome sometimes to Jose Veras, 20 walks in his 33 1/3 innings. He has to really be careful of that. He has tremendous stuff, and when his stuff is across the plate, he's tough to hit.
Nyjer Morgan, Jordan Zimmerman, and Adam Kennedy. Morgan pops it up, and it's foul. It's over the screen. Back to our email bag. Rob in Palm Coast. Been a Marlins fan from the beginning, and it's just been the past couple of years I've been able to watch the telecast when my local cable company added Fox Sports Florida. Originally from Miami, now live in Daytona Beach. Never been to a Major League Baseball game, but I was recently given tickets to the upcoming Saturday and Sunday games against the Braves for my birthday. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. I'm super excited about the upcoming trip. Since I know you have the best insight on the great eats at other ballparks, I was wondering if there is a can't-miss item which you would recommend at the home park. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the broadcast. And he'll report on his first Major League experience, hopefully, on another email Tuesday.
That's right. Please report back.
So, I guess he's asking, is there a can't-miss food item or a can't-miss attraction in this stadium?
It's not like some of the new ballparks because this is a football stadium and it's an old ballpark. There will be can't-miss items in the new ballpark, I guarantee. I would give the Cuban sandwich a shot.
See,
I like that.
That's where I was going. Cuban sandwich.
I would go with the Cuban sandwich. I like that.
And a cold beer. Everglades barbecue is good. So Everglades barbecue maybe on Saturday night, and then the Cuban sandwich on Sunday night. Down goes Morgan.
Some good changeups Veras threw during that at bat to Niger Morgan. And the final one striking him out. Even though it wasn't down, it was off speed enough to have Morgan out in front.
I will finish that last email from Rob with this. In 2012, there will be a ton of new food items, much better in terms of variety, in quality, in taste, and in price in the Marlins.
Well, the Marlins will have a little more control of it. They have no control of the food items here.
They don't. They don't have control of the items. They don't have control of the prices. That changes in 2012. Willie Harris is at the plate. And he lines it into right field, a base hit. Stanton coming over. Harris has got good speed. Stanton wheels and deals. And the throw goes into second base, holding Harris to a single.
Number 20, second baseman, Kennedy.
Now Adam Kennedy is coming up.
Adam Kennedy tonight is one of the reasons Anibal Sanchez probably didn't go maybe another inning. He's seeing 24 pitches tonight. And Adam Dunn saw 21. So those two guys alone saw 42 pitches. 45 pitches, excuse me, from Anibal Sanchez.
Brett Hayes out on the mound. It's an email Tuesday. This may be the oddest one we've had so far tonight. Kevin in Green Acres. My dad and I are trying to finish an argument. How many Marlins can dunk? I know Cameron Maben would be, if there were a dunk contest, I would go with Maben. He's got a cousin in the NBA, another cousin in the WNBA.
Yeah, and you go with certainly with Josh Johnson, Chris Volstad, Andrew Miller, guys 6'7" and above. They better be able to dunk.
See, if you're looking for a Spud Webb type guy, I'd go with Bonifacio.
Yeah, he'd be fun to watch.
Well, let's ask him tomorrow if he can dunk. Kennedy up. You saw Clippard in the pen. Harris a threat to run.
I guarantee Hanley can too.
Yes.
Mike Stanton, love to see him go to the rim.
Joe Espada.
So quite a few, I guess, would be our answer.
2-0 pitch is a strike. If Joe were to dunk, he'd need one of those trampolines that the mascots use.
We did that one day in high school. Boy, did the coach get mad. He found out.
Adam Kennedy. Harris is back with the dive. Kennedy out of Cal State Northridge. 7 years with the Angels. Spent last year with Oakland and had a pretty productive season. He hit close to 290. Drove in 63 runs. Marlins saw a lot of him in 07 and 08 with St. Louis.
Got to be careful here. Pretty good speed at first base in Willie Harris.
Runner goes, ground ball. Bonifacio, a diving stop on his feet. Great play. Great play, and that keeps Harris at second. It gets Kennedy at first.
Well, that's an unbelievable play. If that ball gets through to the outfield first and third and just one out, a great effort. And remember, Bonifacio was cheating a little bit for a double play, so he was a step or two closer to second base. Harris was thinking of going to third. Alertly, he picks up his third base coach, Pat Listash. If he doesn't pick up Listash, he may be nailed at third, but a great play by Bonifacio.
Ian Desmond, and Veras misses inside. This is an intriguing email simply because I'm curious to know how he's doing it. Mike in Toronto, who works at TSN, that's the Canadian version of ESPN,
all right,
has sent us an email. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Chopped to third. Tracy has it. Flips across. Nicely done. Good defense on the infield. We'll get to Mike's email when we get back. A scoreless ball game still. Going to the bottom of the 8th.
What's Mike say?
With Tommy Hutton, Allison Williams, Jeff Conine. Been a scoreless game, but both bullpens have taken over now. Second out of the Nationals pen is Tyler Clippard. He takes over for Joel Peralta. It is an email Tuesday, and we got an email from Toronto. Mike is working
Mike was his name, yeah,
at TSN. That's the National Sports Network up in Canada.
What up, Mike, eh?
Mike is doing the highlight package for this game. So this is his game.
Good.
And he commends us on our work tonight. And he says with the Blue Jays being a bit of a disappointment every year, he's kind of adopted the Marlins as his team. And he says, let's get the game in, keep the rain away, or else he'll end up waiting all night just like us. So it must have been a long night if Mike had this game last night, too. The question that we have for you, Mike, is what highlights do you have so far in your logged book?
I'll tell you what, Mike, log this down because defense has really let the Marlins down the last couple of games. And last inning, a perfect example of how defense can keep you in a game, especially a tie game, Good play by Tracy to end the inning, and a great play by Bonifacio on that ground ball.
0-1 pitch. Tracy off the end of the bat. Zimmerman has it. He's much better when he throws it down under like that, and he whips it across in time to get the out.
He's also much better when he has a play that's kind of bang-bang. He doesn't have to think about it. If he gets that sharp grounder and then has time to think and load up and throw, that's when he comes up with a poor throw. He's made a few throwing errors.
Mike Stanton has lined out, struck out.
All right, Mike, get ready in Toronto for the highlight.
For those of you that are not that familiar in the television business, a guy like Mike working at TSN or ESPN or any television network or station, if you have a certain game, you are watching the game, logging, time coding the tape, and building your highlight package as you watch the game. Quickly, it's 0-2.
Well, his average, 7th inning or later. Overall, the average has taken a huge hit.
Pudge turns around.
And a huge hit in the wrong direction. Mike Stanton, 1 for his last 34.
Two coming. A lot of knees and elbows when Clippard delivers the pitch.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to pick up at times.
He's a guy that had a great start. He was 8-3 with 11 holds and a 1.72 ERA in his first 28 appearances. But an ERA up at in the high 4s in his last 37 appearances. When you do the math, he's one of the most used relievers in all of baseball.
And some of the guys that are ahead of him on that list are guys who are matchup guys, maybe just come in for a hitter. He comes in for more.
Rides that fastball outside. Clippard now 66 appearances. Nick Massett at 68. Pedro Feliciano at 68. Sean Marshall of the Cubs at 67. And so Clippard is now tied with Peter Moylan of the Braves.
See, Marshall and Feliciano, a couple of guys who are lefty matchup guys.
Change-up foul back.
Clippard's coming in, and he's usually giving you at least an inning. Chris Volstad tomorrow, after his terrific outing in Atlanta. He goes up against Scott Olsen tomorrow.
We've had a number of emails tonight, and I've been saving them until closer to the end of the game, about Leo Nunez and the struggles in the back of the pen. And just to summarize most of the emails, a lot of fans not all that happy with Nunez. What other options do the Marlins have down there to close right now? Here's the 3-2 coming to Stanton. And Mike fouls it back.
You know, pretty much the options are Jose Veras, Clay Hensley. That's about it. So you have to, if you take Nunez out of that role, you have to feel that either one of those two guys is going to be more consistent. They've each had their struggles at times.
Stanton in the hole. It's Desmond, and he makes the play, and there are 2 outs.
Hit that ground ball. That was a terrific at bat on the 10th pitch. So that's a good sign.
Michael in Hollywood wants to know, did Logan Morrison get his first home run ball? And if he did, what did he have to trade to get it?
Not so sure he had to trade anything. I think the fan in Atlanta just threw it back on the field.
But we'll double check with Logan tomorrow. Cameron Maben now. Maben takes outside. That the latest Leo Nunez email came from John in Davie, and he was happy with the Spud Webb reference. He's a North Carolina State guy. Maben from Asheville, North Carolina. A lot of Carolina blue around his household with his cousins, the McCants. Two O's up and it's 3-0. This would be a great guy to get on with 2 outs. Then you could think about starting him. Hayes is on deck, then the pitcher spot. That's a letter high strike.
Hadn't called that pitch too often tonight. It is a strike, but we've seen it not called.
Easier to get that pitch called if it's a fastball than if it's a breaking ball?
Yeah. If it's a breaking ball up there, you better be swinging. Pretty good fastball to hit there, but just swinging through it.
3-2. Maben fouls it back. Every now and then our email wranglers let a bizarre one sneak through. And Alexandra from Orlando wants to know, do you like turtles?
Used to have some turtles, didn't you?
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Or you still do?
Oh, yeah. Lightning.
The snake hasn't eaten them?
Lightning is the turtle. That one's driven to center. Morgan's got room, though, and he's there, and he makes the catch. Still scoreless. Marlins and Nationals. Team has a run. We're in the 9th. Jose Veras is still out there on an email Tuesday night. The Fish and the Nationals playing game 2. There's been some rain in and out of this game. Nothing like last night, which is a good thing, believe me. And so Veras will get Roger Bernardina, Ryan Zimmerman, and Adam Dunn. This is inning number 2 for Veras.
And this is not an easy inning with those 3 hitters due up.
Boy, the Cardinals are getting beat again tonight. Houston is shutting out St. Louis 3-0 in the 6th inning.
Wandy Rodriguez again pitching a a nice game.
Tell you what, they have a pretty nice starting staff now with J-Hap going like he's going.
Brett Myers, Wandy Rodriguez, pretty good top three.
Cincinnati is beating Milwaukee 6-3. So if those scores hold, the Reds will stretch their lead even larger in the National League Central. Maben ambles over, and Cameron is there, and he makes the catch. It's a 6-game lead right now in the National League Central, and that's the biggest lead in the National League. And so another night like that, and it would push St. Louis 7 back.
That's amazing, because you remember all the talk around town when we arrived to Cincinnati, and they'd just been swept by the Cardinals.
Absolute panic, because that was the Brandon Phillips, Yadier Molina dust up.
Dusty Baker served a couple of games suspension.
There it is. As we told you, the Reds are winning. The Cardinals are losing tonight. And look at Houston. Houston's just 11 games under. They've played really good baseball over the last month. Bonifacio fires on over to first. And I say just 11 games under because they've been buried the entire season. But all of a sudden they're starting to get a little closer to 500.
Yeah, early in the year, they had 2 8-game losing streaks. They started the year 8-18. So they buried themselves early.
Here's Dunn as Veras is able to get the first 2 outs here in the 9th. Adam Dunn has singled, has walked. Good changeup. 0-1.
The changeup has been a key for Jose Veras tonight. It's been a good one.
The Braves are hot. 9-2. They're clubbing the Mets. That's in the 8th inning.
And you know what? Whoever plays contributes. David Ross with a grand slam home run.
One coming. Pepper has this email. Have you guys ever had 2 East Coast Email Tuesday games in a 24-hour period, or is this the first time? I think it's the first time.
I think it is. I think it's the first time, no question.
Pepper in Tallahassee. We had Email Tuesday well into the morning last night and continuing here tonight. 2-1 coming. That's in. Travis in Daytona Beach. If Maben doesn't work out this year, who will be the Marlins center fielder next year?
Good question. And I think it's still a question that only Cameron Maben can answer. If he works things out, shows the club that he's the center fielder of the future.
Veras lost him. And so Dunn is aboard, and here comes Michael Morse. He's got the power to pump it out. Brian sends us this email. He was in Atlanta for the Logan Morrison home run game. Fan threw it back on the field. Braves gave it to the Marlins first base coach, threw it into the Marlins dugout.
So no gifts were exchanged.
No need for negotiations. Breaking ball from Veras misses outside. And our buddy Mike from Canada, who is logging this game for TSN, reports that as to highlights, I have a pitcher's duel going right now. Sanchez and Zimmerman strikeout package. But I make my whole highlight pack the shout out that you gave to me. So maybe we'll make TSN tonight. And on his log sheet, he has penciled in a Hanley walk-off at the very end.
Well, Mike may not realize, but my first entree into television, my first broadcasting was radio, but my first entree into television was 1986, doing Expos games on TSN. With my partner, Ken Singleton.
Here's the 2-0. Outside corner. Now, I think I did a couple of TSN games in 2000, but I also filled in on CBC doing some Blue Jays games.
Well, then I did a lot of games on CBC with my
partner, the late John Cerruti. A terrific guy.
See some great partners. I worked with a well-known broadcaster up in Toronto, Brian Williams, on CBC games. Worked a lot of other television games on another network with Don Chevrier, the voice of curling in Canada.
2-2 with 2 outs in a scoreless battle in the ninth. Morse throw to first, leaning, was done. I don't think he was running, but maybe he was just trying to get a good jump. Vera sets. Oh, snapped one off. More swings and misses. 9 shutout innings by the Fish. The problem is the Nationals have matched them.
Get ready, Mike, for the walk-off.
With Tommy Hutton. And the Marlins, as one of our emailers just suggested, Mike and Pompano trying to get on the scoreboard, trying to bust this slump here against the Nationals. The pitching has been fantastic. The defense has been good. So, Mike, we feel your pain. We like your theory.
Yeah, it's always been a theory that's worked in the past.
Brett Hayes will spend an awful lot of time in front of Jim Wolf, chatting it up with Wolf and Pudge. Clippard hangs around for his second inning.
So both managers going with their reliever for 2 innings. A good 2 innings from Jose Veras. Clippard trying to work his second inning.
Hayes knocked one out of the park last night, a 2-run homer. Breaking ball, fly ball, center, Niger Morgan.
The Marlins, Rich, have had just 2 base runners all night. Gabby's double and the walk to Morrison in the 7th.
Donnie Murphy getting ready to stand in. By the way, Vanessa and Tim have emailed. They were the couple, so to speak, that we saw last night cavorting on the dugout in the rain, sharing a toast, a couple bottles of beer, while everybody else was under the shade. They were having a good time. As it turns out, they were given the dry fit shirts, the Nike dry fit shirts by David Sampson with the dry socks, and they got a night at the Palacio Hotel, El Palacio. Donnie Murphy stands in. First pitch breaking ball is a strike. They just called to say thank you. And actually, they say they are not a couple. They're actually brother and sister.
Ah, good stuff.
And they've invited us up for lunch at the Okeechobee Steakhouse.
Hope she had a good day today in tips.
Yeah, that's where she works as a waitress. My brother suggests the bacon cheeseburger or the Delmonico steak.
Right at the end of Palm Beach Lakes and Okeechobee.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Murphy trying to end it with one swing, and it's 1-2. There's a PS on the note. While we were sitting on the dugout in the rain having our beer, we were talking about what the consequences of running out and sliding on the tarp would be. How much do you think the bond out of jail would be on that?
Yeah, I think you made the right choice in not going out there.
1-2 to Murphy. Up and in. In case you weren't awake, here was their night. Everybody else was gone. Brother and sister, what are we going to do in the rain? How about a toast to rain delays, to baseball? Then they got the free gear from David Sampson, a visit from Craig. A little chopper down the third base line.
I think they had visits from Allison and Craig. There's the gear being delivered.
Yeah. Put the shirts on. I got a new shirt. 2-2. Murphy's had some big moments this year. Cracks that one on the ground to short. Deep in the hole is Desmond. Winds up and fires and gets him.
You can see what the Nationals like in Ian Desmond at short. I mean, he has a strong arm, got good range. A lot of his mistakes, his 29 errors, we mentioned it, have been just errors on plays that he's tried to force. Boy, he's got a rocket of an arm.
Talked to Jim Riggleman about that, and he said that he has started to, in the last month, started to cut down on those plays, trying to do too much with a ball that he has no chance to get an out on, instead of trying to make a spectacular play and throwing it away for an error.
And that's something that all young infielders, especially shortstops, go through.
And the other thing that Riggleman pointed out is that there have been a few times this year where a more experienced first baseman would have bailed him out of a couple of balls in the dirt. Adam Dunn has always been an outfielder, and first base is still pretty foreign to him. Bonifacio swings and misses. It's 1-1. And you can also see what the Nationals like in Tyler Clippard, as he continues what has been an impressive run by the Nationals bullpen in this series. Almost 6 scoreless innings now, going back to last night. Two and 1 to Bonifacio.
Yeah, he doesn't just come in with one pitch. Comes in, he gives you a different little delivery.
At the knees.
Watch how he flips that glove, the glove hand, as he comes through with his delivery, kind of flips it toward the plate. as a hitter, you try to pick up the ball out of the hand, so keep your eye off that glove hand.
That one's fouled back. Our good friend Boone in Carabel, his nightly email on Tuesday night. Tommy, you seem a little cranky tonight. I'm worried and sick about you. What's up? Not enough fiber in your diet or what?
Boone. I think we've both been a little bit on the cranky side.
Tyler Clifford blows away Emilio Bonifacio with a fastball. 9 scoreless for both sides. Link's Beef Jerky, the official sponsor of Extra Innings. Feed your wild side. Yes, that's what we have tonight. We've got Extra Innings, scoreless, Marlins and Nationals. Of course, you have great pitching. There's only 5 hits, and you got some great defense.
Well, anytime you have a 0-0 tie, you're going to look for some defense. How about Bonifacio with that play there? Yeah, that'll bring a smile to everybody's face. And a good play to finish the inning off from Chad Tracy over at third base. So we've seen good defense on both sides. Yeah, that's why it is 0-0.
Marlins are hoping for some Haynes comfort zone. Nothing riding up in the back on Clay Hensley. 2-4, 2.72 ERA.
Look at the sweat and rosin on the back of Hensley's cap.
Pudge is up in the 10th. Pudge, Niger Morgan, and in the pitcher spot. Been a pretty clean game in terms of substitution. Both managers still have plenty of ammunition left in terms of pinch hitters and such. See, now, you and I are sitting here thinking, oh, extra. I mean, we were here at the ballpark for, what, 8-9 hours yesterday?
Yeah, quite a while.
But
I don't want to sound cranky, though.
No. Don't want Boone on your case. Hensley misses outside. Mike emailed back in from TSN tonight that now he's working overtime tonight. He's logging the game. And he's hoping he doesn't have to do like a 17, 18 inning scoreless duel and then see the Hanley walk-off. He was banking on the Hanley walk-off a little sooner than that. Hanley will be up.
He's due up second next inning, and we feel your pain, Mike.
Watch this on Fox Tracks. Now, this is the second time a breaking ball to Pudge has been right over
there.
The plate.
If that isn't a strike, I don't know what is.
And that's why I asked you, is it easier to get a high strike with a fastball than a breaking ball? And I think today or
I think
tonight,
in Jim Wolf's case, it's neither, because he's not called that pitch fastball or curveball. Only one other time.
Remember, Sanchez threw a breaking ball very similar to Pudge in the same spot. Two.
I guarantee you Randy Wolf wants that pitch. And how many broadcasters have ever said that?
Yeah, well, you're the first, I'm sure. Two. Hensley misses. And the count 3-2. Anibal Sanchez went 7. 3 hits, no runs. Jose Veras went 2. 1 hit. 2 strikeouts and a walk.
Good pitch there, because there's no way Pudge was expecting that slow curveball. He just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Here's a cranky emailer, Tommy. Rich and Tommy, how come you guys don't read as many emails from people in Miami? We should have priority on Email Tuesday night. I always see that your emails come from American names. John, Brad, Mike, Joe. Do you guys not get any emails from Hispanic viewers? Tonight alone, I've sent 4 different emails and none have been answered. Thank you. Luis.
We have read many emails from Hispanic viewers.
No, I think I'm with you on that. We get plenty of emails from Hispanic viewers. And again, just to remind you, the mechanics of Email Tuesday, we don't get all the emails up here in the booth. The email wrangler goes through. If there are emails that are on the same topic, you'll get 20 or 30 on the same topic. Maybe we'll get 2 or 3 of them. Hensley misses again, and it's 2-0. And I think tonight the email wrangler has gone to great lengths not to get Tommy any more worked up than he really is right now, as Boone pointed out. After a long night last night, or should I call you Tomas?
Tomas. That's what Cookie does.
And we didn't visit with Cookie and Raul tonight because they're doing a separate telecast tonight. They'll be back for the weekend. That pitch didn't miss by much either, and Hensley walks a very fast man, Niger Morgan. That's not a good thing.
Well, you got a real good feeling he's going to be trying to steal and get into scoring position. Niger Morgan with 31 stolen bases this year, 3rd in the National League.
There they are. That's Cookie and Raul
and Chip.
Your next plays pitcher to the pitcher Tyler Pepper. Number 12,
Alberto Gonzalez is coming up.
They also have a few options here. You have the speed of Morgan at first. Alberto Gonzalez, we saw him last night. He started at shortstop. Got pretty good back control. So you have that option as well.
Morgan chased back with the dive.
I think with nobody on base, we would have seen Mensch hit a little more power than Gonzalez.
With 1 out, Niger Morgan, 31 stolen bases. And Hensley trying to keep him close. Chases him back. His 31 stolen bases has him among the league leaders. He is the league leader in caught stealing. He's been caught 15 times. Morgan right now is third in the National League. Michael Bourne, Angel Pagan. Bourne at 44, Pagan at 32.
Hensley's trying to slow things up, give him different looks, change the pace a little bit so he doesn't, if he's thinking about stealing, doesn't get that great jump. They're the most caught stealings.
Want to know? Strike to Gonzalez, a ball and a strike. The Braves have gone final with the win over the Mets, 9-2. Cincinnati is up their lead 8-3 in the 7th over Milwaukee. And on the flip side, St. Louis is still getting shut out by Houston, 3-0 in the 8th. Cubs are getting clubbed by Pittsburgh, 11-2 in the 7th. Padres in Arizona have just begun. Dodgers and Phillies just about to start. Rockies and Giants ditto. Of course, last night, the Marlins and the Nationals were the final game going in all of baseball. All the West Coast games were long since done by the time we were done.
A lot of times I hit the turnpike, head north, and listen to a West Coast game. But they were all over.
Ball in the dirt. Hayes picks it up, and Morgan's going to get there. Bonifacio trailed him to see if he overslid the bag. It was a tough night last night blocking pitches for Brett Hayes. Let's watch this one.
Looked like the changeup maybe that got away and squirted away from Hayes. Yeah, the Marlins uncorked 4 wild pitches last night. That tied a club record.
That's a big wild pitch, because now Gonzalez has a chance to put the first run of the night on the board. You have the ultra fast Morgan at second. Hensley's breaking ball misses out, and the Nationals have runners first and second. Here comes Kennedy. Here comes Randy St. Clair to talk to Clay Hensley.
Now the walks have what? So the main concern and the main topic of the conversation Edwin Rodriguez had with his bullpen the other day, because the walks, that's what's got the bullpen in trouble.
Number 20.
Adam Kennedy is 0 for 4. Hensley checks. First pitch, fastball strike. That's 0-1. These two have met before. There have only been 5 hits total in this game, and the Marlins have only 1 of them. Hensley out in front 0-2.
Yeah, the Marlins lone base hit, a second inning double by Gabby Sanchez. And remember, that was a leadoff double in the second.
This is away. 1-2. Kennedy digs in. Hensley. He's missed with that breaking ball, and the count's even now 2-2.
He's had a little trouble with that pitch. And as you know, he uses the curveball, a changeup, and a fastball. And Kennedy is a clutch hitter.
Ground ball. Got one, and that's it. Runner coming home. Here comes the throw. Morgan, big collision. He holds on. Out at the plate. Hayes is down, still clutching the ball. And he is hurt. Niger Morgan flattens Brett Hayes. Hanley's throw was on the money. But look at the ball, look at the pain that Hayes is in, and amazing that he held on. He was absolutely flattened.
He's not going to let go of that baseball. What a tremendous play by Brett Hayes, and a heads-up play by Hanley. He sees Morgan, the former hockey player,
who would have been safe had he slid. If he doesn't run him over, and if he slides, he scores the run.
Remember that's what happened to him the other day in a play where he went out of his way to get the catcher. If he goes down with a slide, he gets the plate before the tag's applied. You're absolutely right. But a great play by Brett Hayes.
Still scoreless. Second on this ground ball up the middle. He had a full head of steam. Brett Hayes was up. Watch how high the ball is, and look how, had he gone low, he would have been easily safe, but he chose to lower the shoulder. See the ball in Hayes' right hand? Watch this.
Yeah, the main thing and the reason Brett Hayes was so vulnerable is because the throw was a little high. But Morgan was intent on running over Hayes and not thinking about sliding and not looking at him reaching for a ball that was a little high.
Here is Logan Morrison. Morrison takes outside from Drew Storen, who's in the ball game now. The Nationals have a new pitcher. Tyler Clippard is out. Storen, one of their top prospects, the hard thrower out of Stanford.
Hope Mike up in Toronto got that one at the plate.
Morrison, broken bat up the middle. Backhanded and a flip on over. And a nice play by Alberto Gonzalez, who is still in the ballgame at second base. So Storen is hitting in Adam Kennedy's spot.
The Nationals bullpen in this series has gone 6 2/3 innings now, giving up one base hit with 11 strikeouts.
Hanley an 0 for 3 night. He's hitting 7 straight. 19 homers on the season. Homered last night. Storen delivers. Breaking ball for a strike. And it's 0-1.
The departure, the trade of Matt Capps to the Twins opened up the role at the back end of the bullpen for Drew Storm.
Brett Hayes is not in the dugout right now, and obviously his spot isn't due up. So whether he stays in the ballgame or not, we don't know yet. Hanley busts his bat. It's into center field. That's a base hit. Morgan picks it up. Hanley with a big turn. And now the Marlins have a base-stealing threat aboard with 1 out.
Well placed. Bat shatters, but right up the middle. No chance for either infielder to get it. And nice to watch Hanley realize how important he is out there right now with that big turn. Any bobble at all by Nyjer Morgan in center field, and Hanley gets to second base.
Hanley's running. Huge jump. Got it stolen. Pudge is going to call timeout and go talk to the rookie and say, hey, you got to give me a chance.
Yeah, give the runner a look a little bit. Number 28 for Hanley. Good job by Gabby. He was going to take that pitch even if it was down the middle for a strike because he saw the jump that Hanley got. Hanley with an 8-game hitting streak, by the way, getting that single up the middle.
Great speed at second, obviously. Gabby with a 1-0 count. Down low.
Well, Gabby's hit so well all year with runners in scoring position. There are the numbers, 318.
Coming. Good sharp breaking ball. And it's 2-1.
Confidence that Snoren has in that pitch, throwing it 2-0 to Gabby.
Let's see what he gets. 2-1. Check swing. Did he go? Guess not. And it's 3-1.
Good job by Pudge to just scoot this ball in front of him. Gabby checked it, and there's that ball. If you're a runner, if the ball's out front, you can't go. If it goes to the side, you've got a better chance.
Good breaking ball. Gabby watched it. Counts full. 3-2.
He's throwing a 2-0 slider. Now a 3-1 slider. Good pitch to hit, but if you're looking for a fastball 3-1, you're not going to swing.
Now the 3-2. Missed with a breaking ball. Gabby's aboard. Chad Tracy and then Mike Stanton. One question you got to ask yourself: is Dan Ugla available to pinch hit?
I know he would probably say yes, but Edwin Rodriguez, in talking to Edwin before the game, he just wants to be real careful with Ugla because he knows it's the type of injury that, if aggravated, could last for a long time.
Storen misses in.
You see why the Nationals like Storen is their future closer. He is their closer. And there's another pitch. It was a strike.
And that's a case where I think Pudge was set up on the outside and he reached across the plate and it looked like it was in, but it wasn't. Tracy ground ball, base hit left field. Here comes Hanley coming to the plate. Bernardina, it's a good throw. Pudge with a tag. He's safe. He's safe. Ball game. Marlins win it. Pudge is arguing. It looked like Hanley got under it.
Well, we've seen Roger Bernardina make a couple of good throws in this series, so we know he has a good arm. Hanley Ramirez was just going to challenge that arm on that sharply hit base hit by Chad Tracy. He gets the walk-off hit. Riggleman's going to lose the argument, but I truly think that Hanley did slide underneath and get to the plate before any kind of a tag was applied by Pudge.
So the Marlins walk off with the win. Jim Wolf, Jim Riggleman, still going nose to nose. Let's take our first look at it.
First of all, good hitting by Tracy. Take this pitch the other way. Past the shortstop. Bernardina charges it well. Pudge has to reach. If he doesn't have to reach, he's able to block the plate. He did get Hanley, but it was up high. Right there, Hanley crosses the plate by the time Pudge gets him up high. If he doesn't have to reach for the throw, Hanley's on the plate.
Hasn't tagged him yet, and the foot's
now
across.
He gets a tag.
There's
safe all the way.
Yep.
Good call by Jim Wolf.
And Wolf had a great angle. He waited, and he made the call. Hanley was safe. He was under the tag. There's the foot. There's the tag. That's clearly safe. And the Marlins win it. Let's go down below to Allison Williams.
Thanks, guys. Here with Chad Tracy. A big at-bat for you in the 10th. Take us through that, AB.
First pitch, he tried to get me off the plate in. So I was thinking Pudge was going to go back away, and he did. Just to try to hit that hole over there. And, I looked at the defense. They were shading me up the middle. So, take what they give you.
Hanley, you're able to score the one and only run, the only run it took tonight. That 10th inning, what was different for you guys there?
I mean, I was ready for it. I was waiting for a ground ball, everything, go through the infield, and I went hard. And I think I got in there, though.
When you come in to the bottom of the 10th, after what happened in the top, Nyjer Morgan colliding with Hayes at the plate, you see the toughness he shows. How does that spark you guys?
Oh, that wake you up right away, because you're not supposed to do that. You might get hurt somebody, so we just got to fight it on and try to take the game.
It seemed like the energy was a little different in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, Hazer was hurting, and anytime when your teammates is hurting, it fires you up because we're all in this together, and we come out here and sweat together every day. So, when we see somebody hurting, it does fire us up.
This is now the 10th win and the last at-bat for the Marlins. What's it mean for you to come out here and do this for a team that you joined not too long ago? You know what?
We keep winning ball games, and we'll see what happens. Every time we do this, it's a step closer to where we're trying to get.
Thanks, Chad. Guys.
Nicely done, Allison, and nicely done, Chad Tracy and Hanley Ramirez. How about that? A pitcher's duel with a great finish as the Marlins win it by a score of 1-0. And 2 plays at the plate in the last 2 innings. This one goes the Marlins' way. Our Ford Spotlight of the game brought to you by South Florida Ford Dealers. Chad Tracy delivers. Hanley Ramirez.
I love the slide, number 1. He gets there. I also loved what Chad Tracy said when he said Pudge was probably going to go away. He didn't say anything about the pitcher. He's thinking along with the catcher. He went away with a fastball, and that's exactly where he took it.
Wow, how about that? So the Marlins win it. What a game this was tonight. 1-0 the final. Marlins Live is next.